So the whole design of this blade is to take off limbs.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a front. Like some of them have. So this is a bloodlet. So this portion is if you do cut, blood can get out of it.
That's cool.
But that's not the design of it because that would be like a stabbing type instrument. This one is supposed to be like taking off legs and taking off arms. Designed and built by the Gurkhas.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Tim Kennedy, and I have the privilege and the honor of occasionally getting to train with and train under and learn from Giancarlo. It's been an absolute joy to spend time with him. What we just got done doing was Heroes Jiu-Jitsu. I wasn't even on the mats because I grappled last night and I got busted up because I thought I was young and I'm not. So like I just had to be like the wallflower, watching all of these incredible young, talented people on the mats get better, and I just get older and lamer. No, so Heroes Jiu-Jitsu is, it started with this effort of getting community and sweat, two great coping mechanisms for people dealing with trauma, dealing with suicide. Within the veteran community, everybody hears the 22 a day. It's I think vastly higher than that. They have around 60,000 Americans a year that commit suicide. It's over 150,000 throughout throughout the Western world. One is too many, and I have had more friends in bad moments of crisis make the worst mistake ever, which is make a permanent decision with a permanent solution to a temporary problem, which is what ultimately dying by suicide is. So here's Jiu-Jitsu, community, sweat, doing something that is like physically challenging. Like these are all great things, and that was the inception and beginning of Heroes Jiu-Jitsu, was get Jiu-Jitsu schools to host a class a week, and we do one a month where we bring in somebody like insanely talented and a big name. We try to do it once a month where we have a seminar. It's free, that comes down to like the heart and I think generosity of people like Giancarlo and the grappling community, where like I know how much it costs to run a seminar with a guy like this. And he's here donating his time and training. Like there's 100 people out there. We had no room on the mats. The walls were lined with people, all here to learn, all here to be part of community, all here to like get a little bit better. It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. So it was my second time teaching at Heroes, and I think I did one last year, and then
the largest class we've ever had.
They've been both pretty big.
Yeah.
And it's always, I always tell them like I'll do it every month if you guys want me to. Like I teach here obviously, and but I just love like the community and like the message, and like obviously the techniques are important, and I kind of pride myself on being a good teacher and trying to really like help people figure things out. But I think more important is just what the actual whole thing represents.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've always had like a huge like admiration for like that community, but more so since I've been here and having being connected with you guys and having a lot of people like reach out to me in like law enforcement and like that type of community. I'm always like open to teach anywhere.
Yeah.
Like literally, it could be in Austin, it could be anywhere in the country. And again, it's not so much about the technical aspect, which is important, and it's obviously there's crossover to that like field, but I think it's more so about like what it represents as far as specifically with Heroes, like what the actual message is. So it's always an honor to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm like looking out the door, like right on the other side of the wall right here. We have 100 people that are getting delicious Texas barbecue. We have Texas Workforce Commission. We have the VA here. We have crisis counselors here. We have a chiropractor here. We have a guy that like specializes in men's health and hormone balances. There's a lot of people that are struggling with depression, have a variety of issues, like right there, Giancarlo gets him in the door. Giancarlo gets him on the mats. Giancarlo puts them through technique, and now they get to like do exactly what they're doing. You can barely hear them. I'm gonna throw the mic out there. It's like they're laughing and they're joking and they're giggling, but they're being part of a community, and that saves people's lives. There's a scene in the Game of Thrones. It was in the episode Battle of the Bastards, where Jon Snow's brother is finally gets released. and he's running across the field, and this epic prick is launching arrows at him, and Jon Snow goes out to try to get his brother, and as his brother gets shot and dies out in the field, and the entire enemy army charges Jon Snow, and Jon Snow is just like, send it, and he pulls his sword, and he's sitting there looking at this onslaught of horses, and I think that's a really accurate representation of what it feels like to be a veteran that's in crisis. You know, you're looking at like all of these nightmares, drugs, alcohol, sleepless nights, no affection, bad diet, no social activity, no community, unaware of available resources. Like it just goes on and on and on. Smells that trigger you, anniversaries that trigger you, the media that triggers you, and you're just looking at this onslaught of horses, and I think it feels like you're Jon Snow sometimes. But like all those people are here for them.
Yep.
You're here for them. Every single one of those people that are on the mats, we're here for them. And then 1 second later, right before Jon Snow is about to get trampled, his entire army goes full send. And that's the boys. You know, that's the veteran community. That's the jiu-jitsu community. That's sweat. That's exercise. That's a good diet. That's one night of sleep. You know, that's having a good intimate relationship with somebody that you love. And then it's just like, Jon Snow, sick, didn't die.
Tim, you just mentioned earlier, you know, in your own life about you love skydiving still because it's just the mental clarity you can only focus on now. Kind of talking about the same correlation with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I mean, like Tuesday, I'm at New Wave, and thank God it was like a warm-up chill round going to Giancarlo. I wish I could like pull back the curtain so you could see what was going on in my life on that day. I just had a teammate that had committed suicide that week. I have a bunch of businesses. I have a guy that is in Israel that just got wounded while he was he's a volunteer, nonprofit, trying to deliver some equipment, and he got hit with some shrapnel. We're trying to move him into the DoD medical center for some overpressure blast wounds. Like this is all Tuesday, and I walk in the doors, and we do some technique, and then my first round is with Giancarlo, and all of that.
This is like by 9 a.m.
Yeah, by 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And like all of that is on my brain goes away. I can't think of anything else besides, oh man, can I get an underhook? Can I even get one underhook on Giancarlo so I can like not get submitted for 5 seconds? You know, like can I just, so you have to be so present and committed to that activity that you can't think about anything else. And then at the end of that hour and a half session, all of those problems seem so much more achievable. I can conquer one or two of them in stride with what I just did. Like if I just survived 5 minutes with Marigelli or 10 minutes with Marigelli and 10 minutes with Giancarlo, like, okay, like maybe I can handle a couple more emails and phone calls of trying to handle big problems, you know?
So I notice you always train in the mornings. Is that because that kind of like sets your day, sets you up for your day?
Yeah, I try to get like 90 minutes of work done before I go and train.
Okay.
And then, so I get up, hang out with my wife, get the kids breakfast, and they're kind of off. I hammer work for like 60, 90 minutes. So then when I go and do that first workout of the day, it's just this like big reset. And it also gives me like energy and momentum for the rest of the day.
Right, yeah.
And I get it. Some people out schedule-wise don't have that opportunity. They have to work out at night, or they have to work out at 6:30. If I can't hit like a 9:30, 10 workout, I'm working out at like 6:30. So like I'll do it before my work, so then I can just hit with the kids and then go right back to work. But like it's happening in the morning.
So kind of on that topic. Whenever I think about like people, you know, saying things like they don't have time for stuff, I always think about you, because you're one of the busiest people that I know, and you still somehow manage to fit that hour or 2 hours in to do like what's gonna basically give you that clarity for the rest of the day. It's like, how do you, like, what advice would you have? Like, how do you get people into the door that are like struggling to do that, to find jiu-jitsu or whatever, working out, whatever the case is?
I resent, and I think it's just a bold-faced lie to say that you don't have time.
Yeah, I agree.
It's you're not effective, you're not efficient, you're not productive, and your priorities are wrong.
Yeah.
And I know that I can be more productive, I can be more efficient, and I can be more effective doing all of these other things if I am disciplined. If I'm faithful in the small things, I can be faithful in the big things. That's literally scripture.
Yeah.
And we have seen that time and time again with the most successful people and the most effective and efficient leaders. When I look at, like the current Sergeant Major of the Army, Mike Weimer, he is one of the best leaders to ever walk the face of the planet. And I look at the discipline in his schedule where he is going to get a workout. Like, you try to get in that man's schedule and take that workout out of him. But he leads by the front. He's going to be at the fact that he can step in with a combat operations unit, a special operations unit, and he can go and do whatever thing they're about to do. He's 55 years old.
Yeah.
Coming from a special missions unit for the majority of his adult life. And I look to him and guys like Mattis that really have, D. Tommaso, they've set the example of like, no, you will make time to do this.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. No,
That's
I
it.
agree.
I love you, man.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate your heart for helping out people. And you do a lot of good in this world.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Don't choke me.
That was badass.
Thanks so much. That was awesome.
Yeah.